Well, the military ombudsman released a landmark report today, giving a rare look inside the life of Canadian military families. Pierre Daigle is the ombudsman, and he joins me live in the foyer. Wow, that's a big report. This is more resources than you normally put into it. Nail down the primary concern in your findings.
Well, the concern we found out is that particularly that with the mobility and deployment of Canadian forces, it does have an impact on family, and it brings more perturbation and strain on family. So the key finding that we illustrate in the report is that those frequent move across the country does impact on spouse employment. It does have an impact on difficulty to find proper housing, affordable housing, impact on health care provided to family, and also into the care and education of kids. So this is all the result of a military forces being asked to move very frequently.
I know the healthcare one struck me because I hadn't thought about that. Every new city, you got to find another family doctor. And
absolutely,
that's not easy to do in some cities.
It's the same as within the Canadian society, but since the military family moves so often, they don't have the choice of where they're going to move, and by the time they move in a position on a waiting list, it's time to move elsewhere, and it is a provincial jurisdiction, so therefore they got to start all over again.
Has this always been thus? I mean, this has always been the case for military families. I know in military kids when I was growing up, and they'd come in for 18 months and then they'd be gone. It's always been the way of the life, isn't it?
Yeah, it is tough on family, and more, and there's special needs required for the kids. So that's why, and in this, there are families that when they move to their new place of work, they don't mind traveling back to their former place of residence because they kept their specialists there to continue the continuity in the care for the kids.
How does that impact on them, say, psychologically? Is that part of the problem?
On the kids?
Yeah.
Absolutely. The constant move from one location to the other, we see there's an impact on academic results. So their results at school, their marks are lower. Some are having difficulty sleeping, more stressful, particularly if they have one parent that come from a deployed operation also. They're scared, they're afraid of what's happening to their parents. It does impact on family kids to move across.
Now that we're out of combat and the last soldiers are coming home from Afghanistan, is that going to change? Will the relocations be more and more infrequent?
I don't think so. Obviously, the 20 years of continuous combat operation had a bigger toll on the family. With the reduction in the Afghanistan war, for instance, it might be less demanding. But this is a concern we have: is the support to family within Canada or outside has to remain the same because they do move frequently, and all of those challenges are still very present.
You point out, though, that resources have been growing for military families, but what else should the government do to make this problem less pronounced in families?
Well, there are some partnership or discussion that could happen with the provincial government because obviously education, spouse employment, and so on are provincial jurisdiction, healthcare, and so on. But I think it is required for the Canadian Forces now and the government to modernize some procedure, policy, programs that some of them are outdated and that will help the family today to live a better life within the military.
Okay, that's good. Thank you very much for
Thank you very much for having me.